Excellent to people.
Okay, we're gonna have, the minutes are started for the, Main Street agenda meeting for March 19th, 2026. Turn it over to
Oh,
Chairperson.
well, we're gonna call the meeting to order first.
Oh, that's one.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock. And we'll start with an invocation, and then follow with the pledge, so if you all will rise. Do we have a volunteer for the invocation?
I'll do it.
Me? Okay.
I'll do the pledge. Okay.
You'll do the pledge, okay. Father, we thank you for this day, this beautiful day that allows us to gather today to discuss the topics about our beautiful city, Freeport. We ask that you guide us in everything that we do today, that we make wise decisions and that we respect each other's opinions. We ask that you bless everyone here. We ask that in your name, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We have, I believe we have any public comments? Okay, so we'll move on to presentations and announcements. Staff museum update.
Okay. I'm gonna scoot back so I'm not blasting into the microphone. So this past Tuesday, I met with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce to talk about county-wide plannings for the Dia de los Muertos. And I mentioned that Freeport, specifically Freeport Main Street, would be interested in hosting the procession down here. And so there's just kind of general talk about what that will look like this year. I offered up the museum to host a panel display about the holiday and the ofrendas that they bring in. So hopefully we'll have both of those here as well for like the duration of October. And then they're looking to have a kickoff event at the beginning of October as well. So I threw out River Place, and those dates that they wanted to have it are open. So there could be more talks about hosting that at River Place. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. Otherwise, things are going really well here. We had a really good turnout for Dinosaur George. We are doing a bit of spring cleaning, gearing up for our big, busy summer events. We're going to have our Sharks event open in May. We're going to have our Fort Velasco Day, June 27th. We're going to, June 13th, I think. And then we're going to have a Juneteenth celebration, June 20th, have a break, and then have a 4th of July thing for Texas 250 has a free panel display that museums can put up and print out about sort of Texas's role, like what Texas was doing at the 250th anniversary. So I will have that displayed, and then the museum has some stuff from the bicentennial. Like we have an edition of the facts, and we have a phone book, like a special edition phone book from that year that Dow put out that has a little bicentennial thing on it. So that's pretty much what we're up to here.
Do you have a calendar of events?
Yeah, let me go get
that
it.
You can share. That would be great. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to Main Street update.
Yes, all right. So I'll scoot back also. So we have a deadline April 1st for board applications. That's open right now. I have a list of board members whose term is ending, and that would be Flora, Jeff, Jeff, Irene, James, and Sandra. So I brought applications for those that would be interested in reapplying. I put them at the table over there so you guys can take one home.
What was that date again?
The date for the application is April 1st.
And we will have to be reapproved by the board.
What was that?
We will all have to be reapproved
By council.
I should say by the council, city council.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
So in the application, it just gives their instructions on who to turn it in to their city secretary. Um, Following up with board training, this would be facilitated by a person that has worked with Main Street America. So she works as a consultant now. So we are thinking in June. So I'll put it on the agenda so we can vote on a date for board training, but it's happening in June. Um, then to follow up with the property inventory, I did not put it on the agenda as far as having a point of contact for that, but James would be the one taking initiative on this project. So I just wanted to put it out there since it's not in the agenda as an action item. Subcommittees. So we do have the quarterly reports also still going on. The next one is April 10. So just a reminder that subcommittee hours are due also on April 10. That's one of the questions for the report. So just make sure you have those and you send them to me. And then our board meeting in April, that will have to be moved to April 23rd. It won't be on the third Thursday of the month just because I will be out. And so then I reached out to Irene and Edith and we coordinated moving it to the following week. So just I'll send a reminder through email as well. That's all I have for
Okay,
Main Street.
all right. I don't have any comments or announcements, so we'll just go ahead and move on to the business regular session, consideration and possible action to approve the February 19th, 2026 meeting minutes. Did everyone have an opportunity to read those? And if so, do you have any
There's a
questions,
correction.
changes, corrections?
There's a correction on the third page, where it says Director Larry Blanchard, it's Banchard, F-A-N-S-H-E-R.
Third page.
Which paragraph?
It's in the first paragraph, about halfway down, where it says,
Oh.
Director. It says Director Larry, it's Larry Banchard, F-A-N-S-H-E-R.
Can I get that last name from you right now at the end?
F-A-N-S-H-E-R. That's the only one I found.
And then we need to add a visitor that didn't make it onto.
Okay.
Melanie Oldman.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
I move that we approve them as corrected.
Second.
I hear a motion, I heard a second. All in favor? Any opposed? That was Sandra that made the motion and Lon that made the second. Okay, moving on to
Oh, it's right here.
oh, here, okay, here it is. Number 2, discussion and possible action on next steps for the historic downtown flagpole restoration project, including potential fundraising efforts. Maria, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I have an update. So I've been asking our interim public works director, John Perez, about what the cost would be for the flagpole. Um, Main Street does not have a budget or line item for any beautification projects. So I asked him more or less what that would look like as far as doing this project. So he gave me a list of things that we can start doing for this project. So I'm just going to read them from here. He said we will need a GLG lift. I guess it's what lifts you up so we can paint the pole. and that's $800 per week.
Did you say how many weeks we would need it?
He says it shouldn't take more than one.
Okay, because we can
Or
probably get
less.
that donated.
Okay, so then the next thing would be flower bed. So for that, he said it just depends on the design, what flowers we want. He says he's estimating around 300, but then again, it all goes back to what type of flowers we want for the flower bottom part of the
I can
flagpole.
order those wholesale, so.
Okay. And he did say that he does have some money in his budget as far as flowers and botanical as far for public works. So maybe we can get some from there as well. The next thing would be paint. Since we are painting the pole, they have that as well, so we wouldn't have to worry about that. The supplies, they'll take care of that as well. We talked about spotlights. He said that ranges from $150 to $300 depending on what we select. And this is just to place around the pole.
How many spotlights are we planning on? Or do we have that?
I was gonna say, do we have electricity there that's good?
I believe so, yes. Oh, that's good. I don't know, but we do have
I
it.
don't know, because
Okay.
it's been a while since that was put in, and it's sort of janky at some of the poles, or.
I
That was
can
put
ask
in when
him.
Ron was here, and it wasn't necessarily put in the way that had been designed. And so, I can't remember if the electricity to that comes directly off the box, or if it comes from one of the light poles on either side, because it was
Didn't they
discussed
do
both
the
ways.
tree there, or
Well,
James, do you not remember?
Yeah, we pulled power from an outlet over in that area to
Did
power
you?
the tree, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's power there, but whether or not there's, the uplights that we're looking at, those are flush with the ground, right?
Right.
Okay, so
Underground.
we probably, I assume that somewhere there's a drawing that shows, just exactly what the feed is to and under
No,
the pole.
probably not.
Okay, so I'll find out.
No,
Electricity
Maybe public works
for,
has that.
Question.
yes.
probably not, because it was put in like on a. No, I'm saying probably not,
Okay.
because it was put in like on a weekend, like they came in on the weekend, they jackhammered up the concrete, they had a friend that came in and put in the electrical stuff, and there weren't even any drawings for it.
So I have a question. You call it the historic downtown flagpole. Do we know that it's historic? Have we done the research on that?
Yeah, so I didn't print it for today, but I emailed this document that says Downtown Freeport Beautification Project, and it includes the flagpole. So in there, I attached pages from the study that has a little background of what the pole was.
UTSA included in the documents.
Yes.
You know, Larry Blanchard might know. Larry would probably know.
All I can tell you is,
It's been there a long time. We know that.
It served as
In
a
the 40s.
hurricane alert system,
But
basically.
does the state
Yeah,
recognize this?
the state, I checked into it, the state doesn't recognize it as historic.
no, it's not 100 years old.
No, it typically it's 50 is the year where you could, but the state hasn't got a landmark for it, and it's not on the national register, but there can be a local ordinance that proclaims it, historic. Typically, historic falls under, well, there's different levels, but 50 years or more, so we know that. But, how historic is it? And is it in the original site? Is it the original flagpole? Et cetera. That's gonna really determine, the historic nature of it,
We can decide on that.
Loretta, is that something that you would have access to help
So-
us determine that?
That's what I was just going to my stop A to see if anyone had information on it. I can
Will you
definitely
get with
research
Maria?
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's determine it, and if there's a way that we can actually get it certified, I don't know what the right language is, recognized either through the state or, as you mentioned, through a local ordinance.
Through the county,
Through the
Mhm.
county.
Yeah,
the
you're right.
Missouri County Circle Association.
Let's make
does
sure that we
too.
can do that. And then from there, are there guidelines in those entities about what we need to do to get the marker? And, what are those
I was thinking
prerequisites?
just more of a local thing, like,
Well, let's make sure.
I put historic because of the hurricane, but not really that we're gonna nominate it for anything. It was just like a local thing.
So I guess that's my question. Do we want it to have some sort of recognition through whether it's a state, a county, or local? Or do we just want to slap some paint on it and make it look nice? And put
Yeah.
A flower bed.
Well,
What,
that's up to you.
what are we
could
talking
apply
about?
with the state.
Huh?
I said we could
Yeah,
apply
we
with the
could,
state.
yes, absolutely.
All it says here,
I think we should too.
I mean, from what I understand, there's significance because it
Yeah,
raised
because it
up
was the-
alerts, back in the
Yeah.
olden days for hurricanes, et cetera, and storms.
I think that's step one.
And-
If we can give some guidance here.
Raise the flag.
And it seems to be over 50 years old. I guess that brings me to the question, you outlined, what Public Works says, and you know me, I want to use appropriate restoration, techniques, preserving the original materials. Do we know that they're original materials? And then using the gentlest, means possible for cleaning. That would include non-acidic cleaners and certainly protecting the patina. Um, if you think of the Statue of Liberty, it was not always green. That's
Right.
patina that makes it green, and it was copper colored.
Right.
And years and years, it's just gotten greener and greener. But the good news about patina, which is what it's called, is it protects the surface of the thing from deterioration. But all those things, like you're protecting flagpole, is the ball at the top, I forget what that's called, is that copper, and when you're dealing with a historic structure, you want to preserve that, something like the patina. So I say all that to say, before we just start slapping on paint and stripper and all that, we need to, if it is historic, and if we're gonna go with, yes, this is a historic flagpole, we need to, in my estimation, do the appropriate treatments.
I agree.
I'm sure it's already been covered over multiple times.
Perhaps.
I mean,
I would say that.
Yeah.
Back in remember during the sesquicentennial celebration, wasn't that the last time that they refurbed it?
Best of my knowledge it is,
I'm thinking
and I was
that's-
thinking even then they had lights already there, but
there were lights there, but I don't,
now I don't know who actually
there
put,
was a spotlight, one spotlight I remember, and do you remember when Larry was here, when they used to run Christmas lights up there and make it into a Christmas tree?
Mhm.
And I know the league was involved in that, and I wanna say that, I might call Sandra and see if she has
Sandra
any
might know,
information.
remember.
Okay.
One thing you might also check is, in my lifetime, it's always the Coast Guard that came and put the hurricane flags up, and that might be something that
Cause they may have some records.
they may have some
Of
records.
how long it's been used.
They're coming here in June. I'll ask them. They're coming
I
to the
can
museum.
just read what basically a summary of what it's in the study. It says that downtown Flagpole is a historic feature, Freeport's original linear park, which was included in 1912 when the future city of Freeport was divided into lots. The park was located at the heart of the commercial district between West and East Park. And then it just goes on and saying, but it says the flagpole served an important civic function as part of Freeport's hurricane warning system. And then just talks about what it did, but I guess that's why they called it historic.
We redid the fountain down there, I know, when Mary stopped
Darn it.
here. Yeah, cause we put the flags in down there, but I can't remember if we did the flagpole then. You know what, I'll send her a message and ask her.
Okay, I'll
Will
also
you
find out.
guys, get together, Maria and Loretta, if that's something that you would like to be involved in, and maybe contact the state,
I will.
send them the information that we know of the flagpole,
Mhm.
and then find out what those prerequisites are, what are the steps that we need to take, and then, and if we need to gather from different resources, then we can certainly help with that. Okay?
Yes.
Does that sound okay?
Yes.
All right, and then from there, then we can formulate a plan on how the restoration, yeah, and then those are good numbers, keep the numbers on the budget.
Mhm.
We can use that as examples to go from there. Okay, so let's move on. Item number 3, discussion of priority locations for downtown beautification projects, including potential fundraising efforts. Maria.
So in here, as part of the ongoing effort to enhance downtown Freeport and support the goals of the Main Street program, staff is seeking input from the Main Street Advisory Board on potential beautification initiatives that could improve the appearance, experience, and economic vitality of the downtown district. Beautification projects serve several important purposes: improve the visual appeal of the district, create a stronger sense of place, encourage visitation, support local businesses and events, and build community pride in downtown Freeport.
Where are you reading that from?
I sent it.
It's part of the packet, right? That you sent?
Correct, yes.
Okay, what item number is that?
This is number 3.
On where you're reading?
This one?
I'm confused.
I didn't print that one out because it's a lot, so I just sent it an email.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this one here. So specifically, what do you need from the board?
So basically, just start discussing and identifying priority locations for downtown beautification projects. So this is just open for the board to discuss.
It seems like the only safe place to probably do a beautification project is the park itself. Everything else is up for grabs. So, and we have potential infrastructure improvements that would probably, interfere with any or would destroy any beautification projects if we were to try to do stuff along the sidewalks, for example. But I'm guessing the park is probably pretty much fair game. And I think there was some effort to do some beautification to the park. So I don't know if that's something that we're actually going to be able to move forward with or not. But
So basically, just identify what you would like to work on, so that way I can coordinate and see how we can make that happen.
Right.
So it's up for the board to discuss more direction, point out, give a list, more specific.
How would you like that? Would you like us to send you a list of things and then you?
Well, it's just part of the
Put it together.
discussion right now, so you're open to discuss.
so,
Well, we could take those, maybe the beautification committee can take those and bring them back.
There's a beautification.
Yeah,
There
The
is.
design, is that the design committee?
the design committee can take it and try and make, and make a comprehensive list from everything and then make things that are, like actionable this year and then maybe
Right.
what we can.
Mhm.
Sounds like we're working on one right now, which is the flagpole, right?
Mhm. So basically, I just wanted to start discussion on identifying those.
I would say, my opinion would be, don't we have those benches
Yeah.
that need
Oh,
to be
We
installed?
need to, we need to plan spots for those
Yes,
benches.
and I
It
think-
has to be
I
on
think
those.
using the Kids Fest and the Christmas event as a guideline where we know people want to gather at those events and place those benches.
Okay, so benches.
I would love for the fountain not to look that stark white. It's like a prison or something.
so same kind of painting or tiling or something like that.
I would love an updated, look, it would be nice. But again, cost, but if you're looking for ideas, you can just walk out there and you can probably
You're
just.
talking about the big fountain right here?
The big
There's a
fountain.
string fell out? family have to be involved in that?
Well,
If
that's a
they,
good question. Did they donate that?
they
They,
donated
they
that.
did donate that.
And has it always looked
and
the way that it
it's-
is?
It's always looked the way it is, except when
Well-
somebody throws soap in there and soaks it up
Well,
or
it was just
freezes
a
it.
quatrefoil.
Huh?
It was just a quatrefoil, originally the base. Later, the fountain was placed into it.
Well, I thought it was all built at the same time.
No, and if you go back to the UTSA study, they're very specific, particularly about this end of the park, about that quadrupole and the fountain and the round concrete planters and the pathways. Those need to remain as they are, because they have historical significance. And so we would just need to beautify around those, add in the benches, add in more native plants.
Right.
Well, anyway,
Doing that.
someone needs to check with the family, and I don't even know who
Percival's
you,
in town, I saw him today.
who was?
Percival,
Was he?
yeah.
So you see there's different steps that you will need to take, but we can give you some ideas.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I know this is just discussion. I just wanted the board to be involved in pointing those things out. So that way you have the opportunity to give your contribution. So this is just a discussion. There's no action item or anything.
But it would be great if we could if we could redo the sidewalks down there because they're horribly uneven and, just use the same design that.
Well,
That could be
Then-
something that we could approach the city.
and it's in the agenda as well. That would be more of the infrastructure project. But what I mean by beautification would be, and I have a list here that was sent out: lights, murals, planters, like Edith said, benches, decorations, things that are small that don't necessarily
We also
need
need
a big
drainage
budget.
there because where there was not a drainage study done before they put in a splash pad again, and it was just one of those one and done, like one weekend, it was constructed and there was no drainage, so we ended up like with a swamp type thing down on this end. So, we haven't really
So
had
those are
anybody like
things-
look at the whole thing and like maybe a professional come in and look at it and.
I have I'm not a board member, but I have a couple things I've noticed just from me walking around. Like one of those gray benches has you see where the concrete is messed up? Like the concrete is I don't know how easy that would be to fix. The pump house by the fountain, a lot of the shingles are missing from it. And also it's just like a plain green, so maybe like a mural. And then there's I don't know, some kind of concrete thing that has just like a piece of plywood over it. I don't know if that's a maintenance thing or not. And then a lot of the street lamps, the paint on them is like flaking and peeling off. Those are just some things that I had
So
noticed.
it needs a lot of updating.
Yeah, but those are like little things
Yeah, sure.
But these are also things that we could, with guidance, because again, I guess we're going to deal with items that may or may not be of historic significance. These are things that we get volunteers,
Right.
a budget.
A budget.
And things that we can paint, things that we can plan, right? So they could become fundraising events. They could be things that bring focus to the area for the people to see, right? So it's just not something that's happening. Some workers come in and do something. Let's get the public involved, and let's make it an event. Let's make it something. Same thing with the flagpole, right? You're gonna go through and you're gonna refurbish the flagpole, or you're gonna have some kind of ceremony, right, when you're done.
Yeah, that would be great.
Right. So I mean, obviously, once you get everything figured out, and you figure out what historic significance it is, and at what level, then you're going to have a plaque that commemorates that, and then you're going to have some kind of a ceremony, right, for that, for that plaque, basically an unveiling, and that's all good stuff because it's a reason for people to show up.
Right.
So. And that's what we want to do. We want to
So
get
I
people
can
down here.
continue putting it on the agenda. Like for example, if you start narrowing down that list and identify two, I would say, from that list. I'm going based on what's on the transformation strategy work plan. And in there, our goal is to identify at least three. So the purpose of this discussion is to basically start narrowing it down. So because if we have an open list, we'll never get to the action item. So that's why I started that discussion.
I think the last time we painted the flagpoles was when Mary was here. And I wanna say that was in 2000.
It's been a while, right.
Yeah, but we did that as Main Street did that as a Main Street
The lights, okay.
lamp post. We painted them, before Christmas one year. Actually, it was the same year we started working on the museum.
Maybe 2009,
Yeah, it was.
earlier.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was 2007 to 2000, somewhere in there. So, but the electricity and all the light poles that need to be redone. The original idea was to have electricity in each light pole so that we could have events down here and that people could use the electricity off that, and it was supposed to have like a plug-in, like you would have for like a trailer park, that on the part that comes off, that we could take off that and plug that in so that people could plug into that. But it didn't get, but it didn't get done that way. And so, but it's not very deep either. It's because it got put in that week that they came in. Like it's in conduit, but it's not very deep.
Okay.
Okay.
And so it's something we could, maybe we could talk with Public Works about doing that. And also, the fact that the light poles that are on Second Street, there was no electricity run down there, so they tied them into the buildings. The buildings are no longer there. I don't have any idea nobody knows where it's terminated, if it was terminated at the lights or.
So that's a whole nother problem.
Yes.
Obviously, you'd wanna get those.
But I mean, we could paint them, we can paint them to make them look nice.
Okay, I think for now, we need to take like small bites.
The electricity.
Really?
Sounds like there's a lot of research.
Yeah.
Quite a few items.
I think as far as the board, would you like the board to email you a list? Each member.
Oh, it's however you guys would like.
I think that might be best, and then you form the greater list, combine, because some of us are gonna say, well, the fountain this, or the light poles this, and.
But it's not what I want. It's what you
I
guys
understand, but we need to give that to you, so that you can bring it, together, put it together, and then bring it back to the board, and then from that list, then maybe we can select a few things, and then find out what the next steps are. The budget, who we need to talk to, is there an electrical problem, is there a plumbing problem, those sorts of things, and then we can start assigning tasks on that. So if we're from the discussion going to develop a plan of action and some tasks, then I think that's where we start. Would you be okay with that?
However you guys want to do it.
But you're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. Then we'll move on to number 4. Discussion of potential Main Street budget priorities for 2026, 2027, Maria.
Yeah, so budget season for fiscal year 2026, 2027 is approaching. Staff will soon begin preparing budget requests for submission through the city's budget process. The purpose of this discussion is to gather board input on potential Main Street program priorities. However, final budget decisions will ultimately be determined through the city's budget process and direction from city manager and city council. Dr. Kelly is here today to give an overview on how the community will give their input for the upcoming fiscal year. Dr. Kelly.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly, for being here.
Of course. Next slide.
I do. I'll pass those out, Dr. Kelly.
Oh, I brought copies. I thought you had it up on the screen.
Yeah.
Well, you just pretty much talked about the process that I'm gonna use.
Okay.
So, first of all, I want to thank you for allowing me to speak here today. If you watched Monday night's council meeting, you saw that the councilman submitted 3 priorities that they are interested in for their strategic process to foster a priority-based budget this year, which is something new for them. Instead of just incrementally adding 5% to everybody's budget, we're gonna focus on a couple of priorities this year. What you all do here really ties into that perfectly, because you are shaping Freeport's identity. You're activating the downtown. You are supporting local businesses. So if you look at this graphic I have here, you can see out of the 6 priorities, you at least touch 2 of them: economic development and tourism, and infrastructure and utilities. You were just talking about that here. So what I am looking for from this group is, you'll see here we have a QR code. There's a very quick 3 to 4 minute survey. It's mostly multiple choice or Likert scale type questions. There's only one open-ended. If you want to answer it, it's not required. We are going to take all of this input and analyze it, and provide this feedback to the council on April 20th.
Okay.
So if you all could send these to your friends, your businesses, and if you know of any social groups, community groups, churches, prayer groups, I'm happy to come and give them a 5 minute spiel and ask them to fill out the survey also, because it's really, really going to inform our next 12 to 24 months and where we see our dollars going as a community.
Right.
And the deadline is April 20th?
The survey closes April 10th.
Oh, April.
At midnight.
The 20th is the council.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yes. April 10th is when the survey closes. You might want to go to the survey tomorrow morning, because for some reason I checked it right when I got here, and there's 2 duplicate questions. I don't know why. So I need to fix that real quick.
If you have some extras, I belong to a couple organizations.
Oh, I have plenty. I brought
That I can share. And they're, they're people who live in the community.
The website?
The link will be on the front page.
And can we also share it, put it on the Facebook?
It will be, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And then we can share it
Absolutely.
to the other,
Just trying to get it as wide as possible. I would love at least 100, if not more. Thank you so much.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you for that.
So with that in mind, since we are going to be approaching the budget request, I would say, for the upcoming fiscal year, we thought it was perfect just to tie that in here, and also see what Main Street budget would look like. I basically just have gathered a list of what will be discussed as far as Main Street. And so then I wanted to bring it to the board, just so you know about it as well. But I pointed out a facade grant program, the community Christmas tree, so we can continue having the tree lighting. We were just talking about downtown beautification projects. So as you know, that's not specifically a line item that but Main Street has. I think it would be great if Main Street has that budget as well, so we can have something to work with for our downtown. Obviously, downtown events, that's something that is critical and very important for the Main Street program. We currently have been getting 40,000 for our events. So I'm putting together something that will determine how much we spend for each event, so that way the board can see that as well. And then a streetscape project, as how it's outlined in the study as well, if we were to identify a project and possibly include that for Main Street budget as well. But then again, like Dr. Kelly said, she's also gathering input from the community and taking this to council as well. And ultimately, council would be the ones who's have the final word.
I have a question about the budget.
Mhm.
So events, I'm on the promotion committee, so we're promoting all these events. Have you, or I don't know how the city is doing this,
Mhm.
like Christmas, for example. Main Street had a Christmas event. There's a holiday on the Brazos over there, breakfast with Santa. Why isn't there just, has there been talk of maybe consolidating all that to just one event instead of having, like doing the breakfast the same day as the tree lighting, doing the all of it on one day and
Mhm.
here instead of, isn't it
Like
multiple
different
days
locations.
and locations?
I would
mean, I just think that
knew
seems
that's
like a
Dr.
lot.
Kelly.
Well, I contacted some vendors and, they're like, well, we're already gonna be at the park
Yeah,
for
that's what
Christmas.
we run into.
Or with the school groups, well, the families, we're going to this one on
Mhm.
the evening. I'm like, but this one's in the evening too, the tree lighting, so I didn't know if there was any, talk amongst the different departments of consolidating these events.
We have
We can
not.
definitely bring that up in our
Yeah.
next staffing. I mean, it's certainly early enough in the year to
Yeah.
start
Mhm.
addressing this.
Mhm.
This year was the
Yeah.
first year that I think there was any sort of like Maria, myself, the community planners in the PD, and the rec center staff all sat down, and it was enough just to make sure we were all not having stuff on the same day. But now maybe if we could have stuff on the same day on
Because you're
purpose.
still asking the city employees to come down here and clean up or
Mhm.
close the roads, and they're probably doing the same thing at the park, cleaning up. And
Yeah.
it just seems like a lot.
And you're asking the same folks to sponsor 4 different events for the city of Freeport. It just,
I mean, everybody,
I've asked that question.
I think the park
many
is well,
times.
the municipal park is well established, and so is River Place compared to downtown. We're trying to get people down here.
I guess that would be more of a direction like from administration. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Some of us just came in and we just
Well,
continued
it was the
something that had
first
been
year to
done
do
for
the tree lighting,
years.
It's
so-
it's a great idea, and again, it does give us an opportunity to get all those things and bring them this way, which is, good for everybody.
I mean, the tree is very expensive,
Yes, it is.
so I wish more people were able to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can go with Dr. Kelly and see if we can, I don't know, start bringing it, or maybe have some discussion as far as how the events work for the city.
It's March, so it's March, you got 9 months to push that.
Yeah.
At one time before, I wanna say when the league did the Christmas thing in the park, remember, then we used to do, like a hayride. And the Parks Department pulled the, and at one time, we did come down and do a whole big circuit, but we didn't really have anything in the park, we just had lights in the park downtown at that point. And then,
But you also remember we had, businesses put up Christmas, decorations,
yeah,
put the name on the bottom of
And do
it.
you believe those things were favorable? Did the citizens enjoy that?
I
Is
did.
that something that you could tell Maria, hey, can we include this in our celebration? So think about those things that worked in the past that we can bring them back. If you feel like citizens, hey, we used to do this and it was so much fun and whatever. But that's exactly, I think, is the input that Maria's asking from us.
we also have, then we have at Christmas a boat. We had lighted boats in the river.
Not very many times we didn't, but yeah, I seem like I remember having it.
Sandra coordinated with somebody, it may have been the, I don't know, who was
Christmas boat parade.
Ken, yeah, it was a Christmas boat parade. It was with Ken, what was his name? He was part of the sailing group around here.
Were y'all allowed to access the riverfront right here for that? Do you remember, or was it somewhere
It was,
else?
that was from, I think that was from the river. I mean, I think it was the river down there because then there was a Christmas tree in the middle of the river. Remember that they lit
You
during
know, I don't
all
remember the Christmas tree in the middle of the river.
I have pictures of it, yeah.
Yeah, she went way back, yeah, that was that.
Yeah, I remember that.
That
Yeah.
was when the league did the Christmas. I mean, that was.
Always talk to the local yacht club.
Mhm.
Well, I think
We
if
don't
we
have a local yacht club
consolidate
that I
those
know of.
Christmas events, that'll help with the budget.
Okay,
Yeah,
so, get with
Let's
her
go
to
ahead, in the interest
discuss.
of time, let's go ahead and move on. If y'all will, email Maria those events that you think that we could bring back, the boat sliding, the boat parade, and all those things, I think those are all great ideas. But let's get a list together, and then maybe that's something that she can bring to the department heads and see if we can get, them all say, oh, yeah, let's do that. And then we can, see where we fit in that as well. So, let's go ahead and move on to, what number are we on?
Number 5.
Discussion of a catalytic streets, no, we already said that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's go
Six.
number 6. Discussion of progress, of the Freeport 2026 Transformation Strategy Work Plan.
That's just a discussion of how it's going on the transformation strategy work plan, see if the board has any updates, just to see the progress.
Not at this time, it doesn't sound. Did we cover the streetscape okay, or did I miss that? The item
Is
before.
that gonna be, I could bring up what I've been working
Does,
on, but would that also be part of the organization subcommittee?
No. Hold on. So you have one question, right? The streetscape is actually number 5.
Did I skip that?
We didn't do that one.
We didn't do it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's what.
Let's go back. Discussion of a catalytic streetscape or infrastructure project identified in the comprehensive downtown plan.
So basically, this is just starting conversations. Again, this is just a discussion item, just to put it out there, and because it's also part of the transformation strategy work plan, where we identify one project from the study that we can potentially include in the upcoming fiscal year for Main Street budget. And I did print it out for you. So this is just pages from the study where it just points out what kind of project we can pick from the study.
Yeah, this is what you sent in on the computer.
Yeah, everything has been sent.
Here, I've got mine, I printed mine.
So yeah, that's basically it. Just discussion over what you feel is the most important as far as the streetscape project. I have a list of items, but I really wanted the board input as well, so that way the board is involved in identifying this project. I myself thought of like possibly the intersections on West Broad and East Park and West Park, of potentially putting brick pavers. I also talked to Dr. Kelly about it and see what she thought about that. We think it's great, but then again, ultimately the board will identify that, so you can be involved in the process as well.
And and you and I had discussed that too, so these could be papers that people would actually buy.
Right. Dr. Kelly had a great idea of maybe getting people to sponsor some of these bricks. People love to have their names on things, so maybe we
Now you
put
talking
the
about putting
intersection.
these in the street?
Right. It would be like
Not
the
on the
intersection. No,
Crosswalk.
like crosswalk. Correct.
Like a
Oh,
crosswalk.
Crosswalk.
So I brought this up when we talked the other day too. I only have one issue with that, and that issue really has to do with maybe reaching out to Public Works, reaching out to the city, and making sure that anything that we do along the lines of something like that isn't going to be voided by some impending project that finally shows up 6 months or a year after you go through and you put pavers in the street.
That could be.
So, and that not being the case, I think it's a great idea. But I think that's something that should definitely be checked
Well,
into.
on Broad in particular, we need to be real careful with, because I know the infrastructure of the internet and,
Gas line.
well, the internet and all of those type of things that go down to the port were pigged underneath the sidewalk over here. And they picked them from like the 700 block to that from that interchange, and they picked them underneath all the way down Broad on the north side, down, I can't remember if they came across here or they came across over there.
But we should be able to get something to come out and mark where all the do not dig areas are.
We need to specifically get that company to do that, because I don't know if we've got city records of that.
Well, you could do
There should've
papers
got
around the
permitting,
flagpole
don't you think?
for the fundraising portion of that, or maybe
All
around
that
the
stuff
fountains.
is typically when the telecoms come out and do that, it's all.
We hope.
Plans are submitted.
No, because I pulled a permit and I called to the digging people to come out and mark, on our lots, and they had no idea that there were, like internet lines run underneath, fiber optics run underneath the sidewalks all the way downtown. The, what, 1888 or whatever it is, 811 that you call. So I don't know, but we need to be careful with where we put stuff.
So basically, it's all in here in the study. You would just need to spend some time reading into what exactly you want to identify so we can move forward. A lot of the things that I hear in the community is, well, we never do anything. Well, we don't. So then that's why the purpose of the discussion is to at least start the discussion versus we never really discuss it.
Wouldn't this be a great opportunity to go ahead and get started the signage, which we've talked about off and on?
The EDC is doing a signage project right now. It started out with signage, but we were working with a consulting company that did the pairs of the Pearland and a few other, they helped Angleton, Clark and Condon is their name. And the EDC, they before we started signage, they said, which makes sense, are you happy with your logo? Because you don't want to make a bunch of signs and then say, I don't like our logo, so we're also kind of looking at branding and marketing. So that is in progress. There's going to be a survey sent out. I got a sample of it today, went over it, but that is in the beginning stages. Yeah. So wayfinding, we've identified that, and it's been identified for years now. That wayfinding is something every time it's just been dropped. I'm not assigning blame, I'm just saying that's just what it's
So we kept kicking the can for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to be clear on when we're talking infrastructure, we're talking about infrastructure that we can affect versus infrastructure that actually needs to be dealt with at the city level.
Like the gas lines.
Right. So projects that we can.
Right. Okay. And
Yeah.
again, and I'm just trying to be clear on that, because if there was an infrastructure project that I could think of that needs to be looked at, that maybe could be dealt with sooner than later, it comes back to the thing with the lights and electricity and stuff like that. I stopped at that little store over there on the corner with Jerry. And one of the and I mentioned I was going to this board meeting, the last board meeting, and the gentleman there was like, "Oh, great! Well, would you let them know about these lights? And let them know about all of it, so people."
Because they're dark, right?
Yeah,
It's very
yeah,
dark.
Yeah, it's dark. They don't because of
Yeah.
power.
Yeah, and that's why that's the purpose of this.
So these are projects that affect us in a way, affect the downtown grid.
But really, are a city, it's
But
a
they're
city
city
issue,
infrastructure
not a
issues.
Main Street issue.
Right.
So
But would
we
benefit
can
us
bring
in
light
terms
to
of
that.
beautification and stuff like
We can
that.
bring light to the light.
Answer that, right?
Yeah. I mean, as you can all tell, I mean, there's so much work that needs to be done. There's so much, and where do we start? I mean, that's a good point. Several of you, are saying, we keep kicking that can down the road. Because where do we start? I think that's the feedback that Maria's looking for is let's identify a project, and it can be small scale. We don't really want to do a whole lot of infrastructure because as we know, there is a greater plan, for the infrastructure. But if we can beautify our downtown, if we can do those small projects that are going to highlight the beauty of downtown, that is going to want people to come and spend some time in the park, with their kids, with their dogs, with their families, then let's think about that. And so let's try to hone it in maybe over the next couple of months, maybe 2 projects. I don't want to take because we can talk about this much of work that needs to be done, but I think for us to really, we should probably focus on just a couple of things for this year. And then every year, maybe, okay, we accomplished that. Let's move on to the next and what we can do.
We
And
do have
along
a
the
goal.
way, funding is going to be a big issue. I'm sorry, but funding through the city, through the EDC's contributions. I keep saying we need the industry involved. We need folks like the pavers that are going to want to maybe contribute because they love Freeport and the history of Freeport. So there's a lot of work to be done, but if we can maybe just get at least 2 um, on the books that we're really working towards, then we can really say, Marie, out in the community, this is what we've done, this is what we're working on, and there's more to come. There's more good stuff to come. Okay, you good with that? Okay, so let's move on down the road.
6?
Number 6. Did we already do that one?
Not really.
Discussion of progress of the Freeport. I don't think anybody had anything.
I think
Yeah, I do.
Transformation
And
strategy work.
I've only got 5 of these, so
Okay.
pass them along.
Give us
Share those a little
the
bit, yeah.
summary.
So basically, what one of the larger action items is the inventory. Sorry, I like to stay on the top. Is the inventory of properties that we have. We have 130 identified properties, and we have 130, and we have a list of those properties already. That's reasonably accurate. It's got some things that need to be updated, but at least the addresses are all there, parcels are all there. At the downtowntx.org site. And what I'd like to do, what I'm working on right now, is trying to get that site, our portion of that site active, right? We're not actually on live yet. And one of the reasons why we hadn't gone live is because there's just basic boilerplate stuff that they needed to have done. And the document that you're looking at here is my interpretation of what I think we should have in the why Freeport part of that site, okay? And what it is it's basically a kind of a sales pitch. It's the elevator size pitch. It's about 1,000 words as to why somebody should look at this. And it really works on the basis of here's this thing here, and nobody's doing anything with it. It's dirt cheap. You should come down here. We've got incentives, all the rest of this stuff. It's essentially what it's saying, but it's also saying, look, huge port, beaches, all this other stuff, all these other reasons that you want to come to Freeport, and here's this downtown that doesn't have anything really done to it at this point. I mean, if you look around here and you're really honest, what we have is a ghost town, right? So we have this ghost town that's just waiting for somebody to come along and do something. So, but it's more about the economics, and the economics are this town is ready to boom, and we have low prices, we have incentives, and we have revenue centers. Right? So that's the whole deal. Anyway, take a look at that. Yeah.
this is like when you click on to City of Freeport, is this something that would be on that website?
So,
And did you develop this?
so this is, I used a little AI to help me.
Okay.
The,
Do we have a marketing person in the city
No.
that can help us?
So basically, what
Finish
James is
this.
doing, at the last board meeting, we talked about downtowntexas.org. And so essentially, this is a profile that is led through the Texas Historical Commission. And what it does, it just highlights all the properties in our downtown.
Right.
So James is basically just working through the transformation strategy work plan, uh, and identifying that. And in that profile, we have to have a paragraph that says, like James says, why Freeport? So it's nothing related to the city website. This is strictly
yeah, why
downtowntexas.org.
here? But it says why here in context of, look at Freeport. Look what you got here, look at
But
the
isn't
growth
it-
potential.
Doesn't the city want, is there someone at the city level that can work with James on that site? Because
It doesn't have,
anybody can put anything on there?
yeah, this comes from like, this profile is set up by us.
Right.
So the THC just says,
Anybody can
hey,
do it.
work on
So
your
this is on-
summary.
So the idea of the site is somebody's gonna come along and they're gonna be looking for some place to do business, some place to do something new or invest. And so so this downtown TX site has all these historic downtowns, like not necessarily historic, but a lot of them are, downtowns. And you can go to these things, one of the first things that you're gonna see, and this is the other thing I wanna talk to you about real quick, is there's going to be your city's name, right? There's all these cities listed, and there's your city's name, and there's a really nice picture of your downtown. So one of the things I need is a really nice picture of our downtown. To be honest, you're not going to get a really nice picture out of what we currently have in this downtown. So we're going to have to pull something historic, maybe something with the hotel in the background or something like that, and that's going to have to be our picture for right now. It's going to have this boilerplate for our white Freeport. It's going to have some basic information that I've already included: population, median income, tax rate. These are things that they want to know, things that people want to know. One of the really good things right now, when I was looking at all the other cities, the majority of the cities, when you see what they're listing, they're listing their properties as well. They're just listing inventory properties. Surprisingly, most of the cities don't actually have. We have X number of inventory properties, but hey, we've got 4, 5, 6 properties that are for sale or for lease. Here's some numbers and all the rest of that stuff. That's the thing I want to work toward. So I can go, as I can go through and look at the places that are currently being leased or sold, and I can reach out to the owners, I can reach out to the realtors. We can update the information on the site, and then as people go through and they look and they see Freeport, they see our picture, and then they see, oh, they've got inventory properties, but hey, look, they've got some stuff here, and here's some numbers. Maybe I should take a look at Freeport. So this is really just something that's going to grab investors. And that's the whole point. So when you look at this, don't look at this I'm not selling Freeport to people. All right, I'm not selling downtown to people. I am selling downtown to people who want to invest money in a city someplace. So they're either looking to start a business, move a business, or maybe they're just looking to do something with cash on hand in sort of a real estate sense, right?
So is this a tool that realtors use?
I suppose it could be, but really it's for, I really think it's for people who.
Personal experience, I'm speaking from here. We spent the last 3 weeks traveling across New Mexico, the Panhandle, and Oklahoma. And we have a personal friend who lives in the Houston area, works in the Houston area, but he just bought an investment property in Shamrock, Texas. Of all places.
Shamrock.
So we made a point to go to Shamrock.
Yeah.
Exactly. We made a point to go through Shamrock, even though it was already in the original plan, and sit on his little bench in front of his new building that he just bought. Say, hey, wish you were here. But then after that, just for grins, because I was curious about it, and because we had talked about this Texas Historical Commission site last month, every town that we rolled through, which there was bunches of them, I pulled them up. And that, just like James said, there's a picture of the downtown, and then it has the number of available properties for sale and for lease. And there really weren't that many all over the places that we were traveling through. We were traveling through some pretty busy little towns that are pretty well developed. And they all wanted a whole lot more for their properties.
And we have, again, we do have properties that are for sale or for lease.
What he's working on doing and what we're helping him to do to get these parcels listed with the square footage and the owners and all the other details so that we can go live. And then Freeport will pop up on this, because right now you can't look at us, but you can look at Brenham, you can look at Shamrock, you can look at Ennis, you can look at.
Honestly, if I had a picture that everybody was
So,
happy with.
It's a great tool for
I could-
people who are looking to invest.
We could go live like this week.
So what, that was my question, so what do you need from us, James, to move this forward?
If nobody's upset about this particular verbiage, I really just need, I just need a good picture of downtown, something. I personally would like something as recent as possible, in as much as we could go back to the 40s. The really cool thing about AI is you can ask questions like, hey, when was the economic heyday of Freeport? Well, the economic heyday of Freeport was between 1960 and 1975. And it dragged into the 80s, but then it started.
Everyone immediately disagrees.
Yeah.
So the thing is I would like to get an image of downtown that's closer to current time than say the 1940s, because I know we got some great pictures of stuff in the 40s,
The sulfur
and 50s and stuff like
planting,
that. But if we had something a little more recent,
those were the.
I'll get with Loretta
We'll
to
look
see
for
we can
pictures.
find pictures.
Yeah,
Do that one.
That are more
Pictures,
recent.
and could you
From
email
Marianne.
this to Maria, and Maria can send it out to us,
Sure.
James?
Like you-
I have it.
I have
I'll send it to.
I have a concern, I hadn't seen this before now.
just
The business improvement grant, there's some mistakes in there.
okay.
And also, when we talk about the Texas CDBG, that's out of the Department of Agriculture. I used to be over the Main Street grant.
Okay.
I think I talked to Mr. Pennington and Lance before that, and I think I've even talked to Dr. Kelly, I may not have told him to that. But we're one of 10 entitlement counties in the state.
Mhm.
There's 254 counties, there's
Right.
10 entitlement. So we currently have, get our CDBG funds from the county.
Mhm.
Now, I've talked to Mr. Pennington and, about opting out of that, because we can probably get more money from programs like this, but currently, the way we are, we've got a 2-year agreement with them, I think, that we're obligated to, so we can't back out yet. But we're not eligible for, the downtown
Well,
revitalization.
if you wanna edit that up and cross out the stuff that's
Well,
either not.
can you
accurate or
send this to
whatever.
me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
I can send you my Word document.
I think
and
Maria's
feel free
gonna email that to us in a Word document, that way we can make some changes and we'll filter it back through her and then we'll, give that back to you, James.
Again, one of the things I would really like to do is just kind of go online with this and actually have
Something else.
us represented, right? And then we can go through and clean up the property database, the background, get the lease and sale items. There's a lot of owner information that's currently in there that's not correct, because that was done in 2023, 2024.
Yeah,
some of those
Anna worked
properties
on
are
that
changing.
when she developed that list for us.
But it's, at least it's complete, it's a complete list.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on quickly for any updates with the different subcommittees. Economic Vitality met a couple of times in March. We met with, Ashley and
Lily,
Lily. I always want to call her Emily, but it's not. Lily, we went to their office, myself, Robert, Maria, to discuss, or perhaps becoming a nonprofit organization so that we can solicit organizations as Freeport Main Street. And so that process, we would become a 501c3. Any of the contributors would be able to write their donation off as a charitable donation. And so it becomes more appealing to the industry and to other folks to do that. We've talked about our, unfortunate Freeport's reputation with some of the industry that they are just, they shy away from us because of the political climate that has unfolded here in the last couple of years. But I think if we could separate ourselves from that, talk to Ashley, it's very much doable. We would need an attorney to prepare those documents. We could probably ask Chris to do that for us. We haven't met with him, but she was gonna talk to him about that since he's a city attorney. And then there's some filings that need to happen, occur. And, she could actually be the treasury part of it, uh, within, her computer system and then assign a GL, a general ledger for us, where funds would go into that account and then it would be administrated and controlled. So, we could talk more about that when that happens, but we definitely want to move towards something like that for us.
And just to be clear, it's
Yeah.
not, the Main Street would not become a nonprofit switching from the city, but we start like a Friends of the Main Street nonprofit.
Yes, we would
Yeah.
name it whatever we want to name it at that
Wouldn't
point.
it be more of a C6?
No.
C3.
It's a C3.
Mhm.
We would be a charitable country. Yeah.
Yeah, C6s can't get,
No,
the industry's not gonna donate. to
they
us.
won't donate to us, or can't be a six. Okay, the other thing, we also reviewed a grant through, and I'm gonna get it wrong, to T-Mobile. T-Mobile is at 50,000. Some of the projects that we talked about today, the smaller projects, would probably qualify for that. I believe the city has a grant writer. Have we employed that person or close
We're
to?
very close, we're
Okay,
still
we're
waiting
close.
for
Okay.
legal to review the contract.
Once we do that, what we'll do in the meantime is get our ducks in a row for what the project, and that's why we can identify. One of the projects I had shot out several different ideas that I had, and we had decided that we liked, when you come down 288, you see the stacked bricks with the flower beds that are in the intersections. That would be nice if that were to be continued down Second Street and then end up here in downtown. So that could be something very cohesive. It could lead to a pathway, then build on that, on how the lighting and all of that can happen. So that was one of the things. I know Maria met with Public Works to give her an estimate of what those we're just talking the beds right now, but eventually it could be replacement of the lighting and that sort of thing. But we're going to get a cost and then we'll come up with a design, if not the same design. I think the same design would be something that we should do, and then decide where they should go. So we're hoping that that lines up with that 50,000. I think it's very doable. The Second Street project is coming also. Hopefully the county is gonna repave all of that, and so we want to be ready for that as well. And so, that's kind of what we've been working on. And that's pretty much what I have. How about promotion?
We are getting ready for Saturday's Move and Groove. I hope everybody's signed up. I hope everybody's coming. If you can't do the walk, you can stay here in the museum and greet the visitors or greet the other participants. I think at this point
You ready?
we're ready.
Ready
for
to
it.
go.
Excited.
Dole is donating bananas and pineapples, and so I suggested that.
And Culligan water.
And we got Culligan to
Okay.
donate water, but for all participants can take a whole pineapple away with them, because we're not gonna cut those up and serve them here.
Yeah.
No.
They'll walk out with pineapples.
Yeah. And try to wear yellow or white. And then Marie Abercrombie,
Yellow
if
or
y'all
white?
don't know her, she's great.
She's awesome.
She'll really get you going.
And then
Right.
Betty,
And Betty's gonna do the storytelling,
the storytelling.
Oh, good.
so it'll be good.
How about organization?
That would be me.
Yeah.
Well,
You're working
and,
on a lot.
Yeah, so, along with the
Volunteer.
property inventory, I'm also going to be, handling, the volunteer database through the,
See my legacy.
yeah, See My Legacy
Yes.
site. So that's
Okay,
gonna be something that we're working on. I think we just got some release forms, some liability forms that we're gonna make sure that volunteers sign, and then we're working with the See My Legacy people to see if we could actually get that form embedded into the sign-up page for the volunteers, so that it would be a little bit more automated. But then when we do dumps of volunteers, we'll be able to readily see who actually has gone through the process, who we might not need to reach out individually with, and send them a copy of that liability form, get that taken care of. But I guess what Maria set up was a never-ending fundraiser that we use strictly for the purpose of accumulating volunteers. So that was the issue that I had when we first talked about the See My Legacy was, how do we keep these people, how do we roll these people over? Well, now we just have basically a fundraiser that's made like financials, like, yeah. So,
That's a good idea. Okay, thank you. How about design?
We didn't be because I was traveling 3 weeks
Oh,
ago.
yeah, you were.
It was great.
Tell us about your trip instead.
Well, 66 trip because I'm still 66 and it's our year anniversary. So yeah, that was what we did. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun going through these different downtowns too and seeing how we're just thriving. And a lot of them are off the week. I'd like for us to meet next week. I'm gonna go out to committee for that.
Not a problem, thank you. Let's see, so next meeting, I think Maria's already told us, we have some conflicts. In meeting, we're worried about having a quorum, because I won't be here either on that third, and she wasn't, so we went ahead and moved it to the 23rd, hopefully everyone can be here. And don't forget about the move and brew, and then reimagining Main Street preservation and occupancy workshop that's coming up that I think, Robert, you're part of that, aren't you?
Yes, I'll be speaking at that about historic preservation.
And we're,
And Reggie will be
that's gonna be
speaking.
here?
Yes, in here.
Okay, you, Reggie, and,
And, a realtor.
Realtor,
oh, Tammy Bell?
Tammy Bell.
Okay,
And the flyers are here for anybody that wants to take one with them or would like to participate in that workshop.
okay. Thank you all very much for attending tonight. I hope, that you're okay with the time change. Is everybody good, attending at
6 is great.
6? Are you okay? Okay.
I concur.
Me too.
I
We're
do
okay.
too.
But I'll be here. Yeah, we're here. We're here. Anyway, meeting stands adjourned. Thank you.
Oh, wait, you got a small motion.
Oh, do I have a motion? I'm sorry. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Edith, a motion and a second for Mon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
I
opposed?
think Lon was in a hurry.
Okay.
Now.
Now
there
we
you go.
can.